Alright, so today we're going over chapter 11, section 2, areas of circles and sectors. So the area of a circle is the formula A equals pi r squared, where r is the radius of a circle. If they give you a diameter by any chance, all you have to do is divide the diameter by 2 to get the radius, and then you're able to plug it back in to find the area of the circle. Other than that, they'll give you the radius, or they'll tell you the area and you have to solve for the radius. But you're always going to have either the area or the radius in order to solve for the other. Or it might be the diameter. Sector of a circle, a region bounded by two radii and the intercept arc of a circle. So, honestly, the sector of a circle, like they said, is between two radiuses. So because they're between two radiuses, this is also a central angle. You can think of it kind of like as a pizza. If you have a pizza, they cut it always through the center, or assuming they try to cut it through the center. A section is just going to be a slice. In this case, is that yellow-orange color. That would be the sector of a circle. Again, because it's two radii, it's kind of like a central angle because this goes from the center to the edge. So we have the area of a sector is the ratio of the area of a sector of a circle to the area of the whole circle, pi r squared, is equal to the ratio of the measure of the intercepted arc to 360. So what does this mean? It's going to be part of the area and then up to the circle. So we have the area of the circle, APB, over pi r squared, is going to equal the measure of the arc over 360. The area of the sector is the section APB is going to equal the measure of arc AB over 360 times pi r squared. Now, I'm going to rewrite it. So the area of the circle, of sector, sorry, not of circle, is going to equal the measure of this arc, so the measure of arc AB. Keep in mind for the arc, you will have the little arc symbol. Divided by 360. The reason it's divided by 360 is because it's the whole circle. And we're going to multiply it times pi r squared, that being the area. So what I did is I grabbed this formula, multiply times pi r squared on both sides. And that's how I got the formula that I have in the bottom, which is actually this same formula right here. But I wanted to explain it while I do it on the circle. So for example 1, we have find the area of a circle with the radius of 4.5 meters. They want us to leave the answer in terms of pi and also calculate the area using your calculator. So they want the area of the circle. So that means we're going to use the formula pi r squared. And they're telling us the radius is 4.5. So all we have to do is plug it in, see what happens. So we're going to do A equals pi times 4.5 squared. Now 4.5 squared, I'm going to use the calculator to solve it right now. It's going to be 20.25 pi. And this is going to be the area. Now let me write units squared. Just as a, so you guys know, area is always squared. So if you see me writing it, if I don't have a unit, I'll write unit squared. In this case, we have meters. So I can actually go ahead and substitute this U from unit to meters squared. And they want us to use a calculator to actually solve for the pi. So plugging it into the calculator, we're going to get pi times 4.5 squared. And after plugging in, I'm going to use the pi button, and I'm going to get a really long number, like 63.61725124, and so on. Now, I am going to simplify it to the first two decimal places, so it's going to be 63 0.62 again, meters squared. So one of them is left in terms of pi, and the other one is plugged in software with a calculator. Now, if you guys are not allowed to use a calculator, please leave it in terms of pi. That would be the smartest thing for you to do. If you guys are allowed to use a calculator, use the pi button. Do not round to 3.14. For B, we have find the radius of a circle with an area of 176.7 square feet. Now we're going to use the same formula, A equals pi r squared. They're telling us the area is 176.7 equals pi r squared. They want us to find the radius. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide by pi. And I'm going to get 176.7 over pi equals r squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and move this up. I'll take the square root. And guys, if you are not using a calculator, please leave your answer like this. This will be plenty. Okay? If you are using a calculator, plug in the information into your calculator. And if I plug the information into my calculator, I would get 56.25 equals r squared. I'll take the square root of both sides. And I'm left with the radius being 7.5 feet. Now I got the feet because they're telling us that this area is square feet. So the radius is just going to be feet. Again, if you don't have a calculator or you're not using a calculator, we'll let you know when we take the quiz. Please, by all means, leave it with pi. If you are using a calculator, by all means, solve for it fully. I'm doing it both ways so you guys see it is possible. But, yeah. So for example 2, they want the radius of a circle is 3 centimeters. They want us to find the area of the sectors determined by their given arc and leave the answers in terms of pi. Now, if you guys remember the formula, I'm going to write it up here. The area of the sector equals the measure of the arc over 360 times pi r squared. Now, having the formula there is going to make it easier, as all we have to do is plug in. So they're telling us to find the area of the sector, so we're always going to be solving for area of the sector. So that's going to be the measure of the arc for A, 50 over 360 degrees times pi and then 3 squared. Now, I am going to simplify this as much as I can without a calculator first. So this is going to become 50 over 360 times pi over 9, pi times 9. The 9 and the 360 cross simplify. So I will be left with 5 over 4 pi. Again, this is without a calculator. The zeros also cancel out. And because it's area, it's centimeters squared. So I'm going to actually erase the little box and plug it in properly. B. Now B is 20 degrees, so we're going to do again 20 over 360, and that's going to equal, times pi. R squared is just 9, so I'm just going to go ahead and plug in 9. The zeros cancel out. Again, the 9 and the 36 can become 4, so we're left with 2 over 4 pi, and that's going to become 1 over 2 pi. Now you can also simplify it to pi over 2. And again, centimeters squared for both of them. So for C, we have 140 degrees. So we're going to do the same thing. 140 over 360 times, again, pi times 9. The zeros cancel out. The 9 and the 36 cancel out. So we're left with 14 over 4 pi. And that's going to become 7 over 2 pi. And again, centimeters squared. Now for D, we have 210 degrees, so 210 over 360 times again pi, and then our square being 9, because 3 squared is 9. The zeros cancel, this becomes 1, this becomes 4. So this is going to become 21 over 4 pi. And again, centimeters squared. So for example 3, it says to find the area of the region bounded by segment AB and arc AB. Leave the answers in pencil tab. Now the region is this one right here. So in between that triangle and the circle. So we're going to have to do the area of the sector minus the area of the triangle to get the area of the region that we're trying to find. So the area of the sector is going to be 120 divided by 360 times pi 6 squared minus the area of the triangle. Now keep in mind that if I break this triangle into 2, this is going to be a 30, 60, 90. So I am able to get the 30, 60, 90. And also remember the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. And we need to find that height in order to figure it out. Now I'm going to draw a 30, 60, 90 triangle right here. So this is A root 3, and 2A. Now we have the hypotenuse, so we know this is going to equal 6. So our A is going to equal 3. So our height is 3. And our base, at least for this one, is 3 root 3. But the whole base is going to be added, so the whole base is 6 root 3. So when I plug it into the formula, it's 1/2 base, so 6 root 3, times height, which is just 3, is going to become 1/2 times 18 root 3. And that's going to simplify to 9 root 3. So that's what we're going to subtract from this formula in order to get the area of that section. Now the zeros cancel out. This is going to become 12 over 36 times pi times 36 minus 9 root 3. The 36 cancels out. So we're left with 12 pi minus 9 root 3. Now, since you guys are not using a calculator, at least for these type of problems, this would be your final answer. 12 pi minus 9 root 3. All right, so if there's no question, this is it for today's notes.